Eddie, episode 9. Sorry about that.
What happened to your hand?
I cut it when my phone fell in the divot on my car, on my driver's side. And I went to grab it and something cut both of my hands.
You got a lot of band-aids for little scratches.
Yeah, hey man, it hurt.
I tell you, these young kids, they don't know how to take pain.
Hey, I had to wash it out. I had to, come on, man. I don't want to get any infection or anything. You know how it is.
I understand.
So, it's okay. He can come at me and my generation. It's okay. We can take it. So, episode 9.
Wow.
Moving along. I know. Moving along quite quickly. I definitely enjoyed these, though. It's cool to have this type of discourse. So, my question for you today is, how have you stood out in this saturated industry? Can you give me a specific example of how you and the company stood out from the beginning, present, whatever?
Well, I mean, I represent the company overall, and there's a few things that we do. The personal touch, not just a number, caring about people's issues. When you're at certain places where they're just not able to be that one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's more of just flow. If you can't do it, there's no thinking outside the box. There's no committee meeting. There's no group meeting to try to solve a problem, especially because there's so many different ways to resolve an issue. Offering a variety of products.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That helps tremendously. You'd be surprised, like, we can't get you this way, we get you this way. There's so many ways to get the job done. So that helps a lot. Communication.
Yeah. No long hold times. Oh my God.
There's no hold time. When you call, you get a real person.
Exactly. You're going to wait maybe 5 seconds at most. I have never seen a hold time.
There's no hold time. There's, you get a real live person. You get access to 24-hour texting. I'm texting back and forth with clients, and all of our agents do that. All of our loan officers do that. We're highly involved in strategies and keep picking up the task and making it our problem. So it's that's where we have
the
really the personal. Well, yeah.
It's so funny. I mean, one of me and one of the loan officers, LOAs, like we work on it over the weekend too, and so people can be serviced on Saturday. I mean, how many other places can you say that are doing that?
Well, it actually 7 days a week, 24/7. That's what I have on my business card.
Exactly.
Just because we are a world of right now, and to be able to be accessible when you have questions, and sometimes those questions might not be important to us because you might have a life-changing question. You want answers right there.
Absolutely.
Last thing you want to do is call and press 1 or talk to a robot, because there's a lot of things you cannot communicate via text message or email, or you want to communicate and you need answers right now.
Yeah, and I think also it's like we're so involved because it's a big deal. Like,
absolutely.
It's like, and I said it this morning, it's not like we're selling t-shirts, right? People hesitate too, and it's a big deal.
We're not selling anything. What we're doing is servicing one of the biggest investment the average homeowner will make in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, $300,000. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it really is.
And you need to be able to have the answers, and an educated one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I might not have that answer always at that first call.
But at least you answer quickly. You offer the one-on-ones.
We try to figure it out together.
Yeah. Absolutely. The quick closing times, like it's, obviously, we talked about that past episodes. Sometimes it might get a little bit longer, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent. And everybody is top of the mind. That's why we cater to these people so quickly, so instantly once they come in.
Yep.
Because we care, and your involvement in the community over the years obviously helps as well to stand out, which is so awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, this company's been fortunate enough to do a lot in the community with a lot of outreach programs. We do them. We don't necessarily broadcast them. That's the thing. We do them in-house. We're not expecting other people to kick in. We don't even use that platform in a way it should, because you know, companies glorify on you know, and that's what it shows in a company's attitude on what they do. We more or less like, hey, we're gonna do it, but you have a different opinion on this. I am an introvert, right? So I like to keep things private. So when we're doing things, we don't necessarily always broadcast it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it? Let me ask you a question.
Oh
about
man,
that.
how the turntables. You ever seen The Office?
Table turn.
Well, no,
but
but
I
in the
get the
office.
opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like.
So as a marketing individual,
Yeah.
our past have been, we keep things like not secret, but we don't broadcast it.
Yeah.
Because we just don't. We
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
With
The
it,
instant calling and things of that nature in the past, those kind of tactics. So what's the question for me then in particular?
That how do you feel about it that we don't show the general population what the outreach programs that we do to give back to the obligation of being able to give people that's less fortunate than
Well, I
us?
think if we had more to work with, we probably would. Which, I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to the way that you're thinking. There's so many different avenues of marketing, whether it is indirect or direct. There's so many ways that you can reach the community, like the events.
No, let me rephrase.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't. When we do the outreach program, not in the events, but social work, giving back to the community, whether the coat drive, whether the turkey drive, whether the tots for toys for kids, whether it's sponsoring families, whether it's offering down payment assistance grants.
Yeah.
We don't broadcast it,
Yeah.
and we don't put it on our social media
Yeah.
page. We don't put it on our website. We don't go live with it. We don't do those things.
Yeah.
Though the companies, that shows a good moral character of a company, right? So how do you feel? Is that a good thing that we haven't done it? Or is that a bad thing that we haven't done it?
So, I mean, obviously we've only had the one event since I've been here.
I'm not talking about events.
So you're literally just talking about general community outreach. I think social media in general the noise gets drowned out to begin with. And when you're in person, we talk about personalization, that human touch is so much more important. And word of mouth is still
No,
critical.
my question is, in Dylan's personal opinion, I hate not the politically, no. Are you happy with it, or are you disgruntled about it that we don't do it as much as we should in telling the world what we do?
Not necessarily disgruntled at all. No, I mean, my thing too is because I'm super young. This isn't even like me being PC. This is generally how I look at it. You have so much more experience in this field that I trust what you want to do. And in general, I
He's
think
not getting my questions, folks.
no, I think I am.
What's
So
my
let-
question?
So your question is that you're just saying we don't broadcast our community outreach to the point where everybody on our social media is going to see it, right? And you wonder how I feel about that.
Okay, yeah.
So my biggest thing is social media. The noise gets drowned out. That is where saturation is. That's why it's so hard to go viral in general. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of noise, and when you cancel out, you don't have to necessarily.
But we don't do it at all.
This is true, but I also think like it's better to be more personalized just on what the company is doing, especially when you're starting out a foundational plan and then you kind of branch out and start doing those things down the line, like blog posts, like the videos that I do in general. So they know us first, and then they know the programs down the line.
Okay.
Now, while we haven't we somewhat planned for that, but like it's only May, so once December comes, I'm sure it's gonna look a lot different. Obviously, there's so many ways of marketing in general that don't encompass social media, which is why I was integrated marketing, because you do the traditional tactics as well as the digital. Digital, everything, the noise can get drowned out in a bad way just on the digital platform, where you almost forget that you need human touch, as you said. So like, I guess that maybe I didn't answer all of your questions.
Nope.
I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit misconstruing it a little bit. Like what
Definitely misconstruing it.
misconstrued. Need some water in here.
Definitely. But that's the next episode.
Yeah. What? Just community outreach? in
No,
general?
you're out. You now it's your turn to talk. What is your opinion on the fact that we don't everything that we have done in the past? We don't necessarily have anywhere you could track it. Like
Yeah.
what? Like you can't sit there and say, "Hey, we do coat drives."
Yeah.
Right. Where do you see it on our web?
Or like
not-
volunteering at the shelter and stuff
We
like
have
that.
volunteered turkey drives. We have volunteered at different things.
So are you
We have
saying like even things before I was here that we
you-
haven't
you-
broadcast?
There's no way you could identify what we do.
That's actually a pretty solid point. I like being challenged and questioned. I think definitely highlighting past things that you've done and incorporating it into newer things is a really good way of spotlighting a lot of
Yeah,
things.
but then one could say, all right, you're doing it for PR purposes and marketing purposes.
everything is for PR.
Wait, that's my question.
Okay.
That is exact. Everything's for PR for a
Yeah.
company, right? For good public relations.
Yeah, of course.
Get it. But one could sit there and say, why? Are you doing it for PR? Hold on.
I love
Are you
this.
doing it for PR purposes, or are you doing it for that's your duty as that's your duty
In
as a-
marketing or general,
No.
just for the company in general.
No,
Yeah,
that's your duty because you can.
for sure. So my thing here,
But why do you have to benefit from it?
so since we're just talking about this is great. I love this so much. Since we're just talking about PR, there's two nuances to PR, right? Any company needs PR, and it's not just for the optics of your company. You need it for crisis communication as well. When things fall through the cracks, or like your brand's image maybe start, which I think we have a really good brand image. And you look at our Google, we're BBB accredited. Like we have really good reviews. The optics of our company is absolutely phenomenal. But people and companies in general use PR to pander to certain groups, to certain people in general, to get more product, to increase their bottom line. PR in general it's always going to be rooted in selfishness. There is no way, no ifs, ands, or buts around it. It will always be rooted in selfishness. But you need it because you have to reach out. You need press releases. You need a spokesperson. You need someone to speak at these events and really represent for the company. But PR in general is rooted in pandering to people. And that is mainly just in B2C. You don't really see it as much in B2B because you're not really pandering the business
But
people
I
and
mean,
owners as
one
much.
could also say, okay, it's also shows that there's good and bad in every situation. So you might deal as a company or have a employee that might be facing some backlashes over certain things, and life happens and
Sure.
things happen. So are you saying we glorify the good now? So if it's something bad happens, you could judge by
Yes.
both characters, not just only negative, because negative outshines the positive always.
If something bad happens, you can go back and show the good
Like
you've done.
little,
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, oh, we'll return to this.
Uh,
We can get into so many other things.
Let's table that conversation. Let's table it here. Good stuff.
Episode 9.
Thank you, folks.